Now imagine this, that if a thought of shame, or a thought of fear, or a thought of guilt creates a muscle reaction in which you can't move your arm, imagine what it's doing to your heart, which is a strong muscle, isn't it? If you go around all day with thoughts of shame and guilt and fear and worry, what's happening to your heart? You are weakening your heart. You are literally sending energy that is disempowering you. Whereas if you're thinking thoughts of love and connection and spirit and God, you are strengthening your heart. Imagine your kidneys. Imagine your liver. Imagine the joints in your body. Imagine your eyes. Imagine every single aspect of this thing called your body, and understand that every single thought that you have impacts it in a way that either makes it empowered or disempowered. And so too are all of the substances that we put into our bodies. You take a bottle of scotch and you put it up next to your solar plexus, and you push it into your solar plexus, and you will not hold your arm up even with one finger, because scotch, pure alcohol whiskey, no dog, if you pour scotch on his dog food, will ever have anything to do with it. They'll look at it and you must be kidding me. And by the way, that's the same reaction you had the first time you tasted it. Woo! What is this? And you spit it out like it's what? It's poison, isn't it? And every time we have one, we send a signal to the rest of our body that it is going to be weakened. Okay, if everything is energy, and if every thought that we have impacts or empowers us in some way, I've always said that if you understand that what you think about is what expands into the physical world, then after a while, you'll start getting real careful about what you think about. Real careful about what you think about. And when you start having these thoughts, when you change your thought, when you shift your thought from one of anguish, self-pity, depression, worry, fear, and particularly shame, when you shift that thought in the instant, and when people say, yeah, but how do I do it? I don't know how you do it. You just do it. If I say to you right now, I want you to think of a very unhappy thought. I'd like you to picture a dog that has just been hit by the side of the road, and it's a German Shepherd, and it's brown and black, and it's got blood trickling out of its mouth, and it's lying there on the side of the road. Is there anyone that can't do that? You can see that picture, can't you? Okay, that's a very disempowering picture. So let's change it. Change it and shift it to a bouquet of roses, red roses with that white baby breath or whatever they call it in back of it, and the green coming behind it, and 12 beautiful long stem roses, each of them going out in a little bit of a different direction. And is there anyone who can't do that? All right, how did you do that? You tell me. You just did it. You just did it. You just do it. And no one can explain how. No one can explain the mechanics behind it. Even the greatest neurosurgeon in the world can't explain the mechanics behind. You just change your thoughts. You train yourself to think in a different way when confronted with and knowing that your thoughts are on anything that is going to disempower you. Or surely the presence of love will correct my perception that I have a problem. You just change it. And of course, you also change what you put into your body. You decontaminate your energy fields. You don't allow yourself to consume foods, substances. And if you want to know whether a substance works or doesn't work for you, even if you want to check your vitamins, or if you want to check anything that you might be taking, just have someone stand in front of you, put your arm out with no watch on it, because a quartz movement will interfere with this. It has energy of its own. And ask them to put their one hand on your right shoulder and their other hand with two fingers, the forefinger and the next finger, and just have them to push down until you resist as strong as you can. And then with your right hand, take your vitamins, or take your food, or take your liquor, or take your cocaine, or take whatever it is that you might find yourself addicted to or practicing, and push it into your solar plexus, and then ask that person to push down on your arm. And if your arm goes down with very little resistance, it's disempowering. And if it stays up, it's empowering. Hawkins did a study with 1,000 people, and he put 500 envelopes of aspartame and 500 envelopes of pure vitamin C, and 100% of the time, every single person in the audience, when they paired up, the aspartame computed weak and the vitamin C computed strong. And yet we fill ourselves with this stuff.